Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Hello and welcome to episode number 124 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Hull KR Shirts and here we are today with the 2016 RNLI charity shirt. Now you can tell from the description that this shirt was issued to Albert Kelly. Now if you've got this far, that might not put you off. I'm sure that this will put some people off. And I'm really sorry, but obviously it's just one of the shirts that I've got within my collection. I know that he left the club under not ideal circumstances. I thought to myself, has it been long enough? Has it? Maybe not, but I really wanted to do it. And it's one that I kind of wanted to get out there. I had the opportunity to talk about a shirt that was issued to Chris Clarkson for this fixture. Chris, I don't believe he played in that game, so it was kind of like a spare of a sort of a squad player, whereas Albert did actually play in this game. And albeit that this isn't the match one shirt from that game, it was just one that I wanted the opportunity to talk about on an episode of Talking Shirts. So yeah, let's move on to the shirt. We will try and focus more on the shirt than the player, shall we say, in this episode of Talking Shirts. So yeah, the RNLI third shirt. The advertising and marketing campaign that came with this shirt I thought was absolutely brilliant. James Greenwood, James Donaldson and Sean Lunt, they must have had a fantastic day with the people at the RNLI. The photography is absolutely brilliant. I'll pop some pictures up. I did pop them up in the episode where we covered Chris Clarkson's RNLI shirt as well. And just the opportunity to talk about this again, to show them off again. It's something that I am, really happy to do. Obviously, the design that we've got here, there's a few kind of like conflicting views over sort of what the design is. Is it a life vest? Is this the sea? Is that part of a lifeboat? There's all sorts of different theories, and I quite like. I don't really want to know. Do you know what I mean? I quite like the ambiguity of the different meanings that could come with this kit. We've spoken in many episodes about how brand partners and sponsors have allowed their branding to change colour to amplify the aesthetics of a shirt. Well, this one here is probably a good example of that not happening. We've got IRS. They maybe were asked, they've been absolutely brilliant in changing their branding as we've moved into sort of, the 2020s. But on this occasion, it features in red and black, which, for me, doesn't add to the aesthetics of this wonderful blue, orange and white kit. Malcolm West Forklifts and then the Hulkingston Rovers Club crest. I must stress that IRS and Malcolm West Forklifts have been fantastic sponsors to Hull KR over the years. It's got nothing to do with that in a negative vein. It's just that when you've got their branding featuring in black and red and white on a kit that like this, it doesn't really sort of show off in the way that we've been able to see, sort of, as I've said, into the 2020s. That's maybe me being spoiled. We've had it so good that when I look back at something like this, I think, ooh. But at the end of the day, they're absolutely fantastic partners, and we're proud to wear their logos across our shirt. Obviously, we've got the Hulkingston Rovers Club crest, as previously mentioned, and then we've got Brian Alfred and his branding that features sort of quite prominently across the front of the shirt in that main front of shirt sponsor. This sort of orange piping band, it almost acts as what you would expect to see as a band across a Hull KR kit, with the sponsor sort of featuring in sort of, well, it's white in it, and then it's got the navy background, and then obviously it's on the orange, so it ties in quite well. This one does blend in much more better than the others, which is surprising considering it's probably 5 times as big. We've got these gel grip patches that kind of wing down either side. We've got sort of 3 sort of rows going across, 3 columns going across, maybe about 20-25 rows going all the way down there. Just to provide that little bit of grip support. There's a big patch in the middle where there isn't anything here, so I don't really know how effective that would have been during the 2016 season. Considering our league status, maybe not so much, but maybe that's just a cheap dig for me to take on that one there. As we have a look at the sleeve here, we'll take a look at this one first. So this is the lefters wearing. We've got the Outbox branding. Line that up straight. Got the Outbox branding, and then we've got the Kingston Press cider. These were heat applied during the 2016 season, but because this shirt came out midway through, we actually was able to supply this in because we knew what the criteria was for including things on the kit. We have also got this yellow and red piping that goes all the way around, and then we finish off with these quite thick navy sort of cuffs. Again, something that we become very much accustomed to on Hull KR shirts now for many years. And on the other sleeve here, we have got Yorkshire Staffing Services, again dye sublimated in, and then the first Utility Super League patch. This has also been dye sublimated. We have seen quite a bit of dye sublimation with the sort of competition patches, but not always as supporters will we see that, because they did change the directive in the Super League, where even if you had it dye sublimated onto your shirt, they actually wanted a heat applied patch to go over the top of that. The reason for that is, if you have a bit of a mud bath game, mud will cover over that and you won't be able to see it. Whereas if you've got one of the sort of vinyl patches, mud doesn't really stick to it. It kind of slides off, which doesn't obstruct the view of that, meaning that then if a game is on TV or for photographs, they are much more visible than they are if it's just been dye sublimated in. So yeah, just another little bit of sort of kit geek knowledge for you there. That's been everything for part one. After the break, we'll talk about the back, we'll talk about Albert Kelly, and then we'll wrap things up as quickly as possible. Thank you very much. Here is a quick word from our sponsor.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger, and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome back to episode number 124 of Talking Shirts. If you have made it to part 2, thank you so much for sticking with us. As I've said, this shirt has been issued to Albert Kelly. Not the most favourite of former Robins, shall we say. The back of this kit. So we do have the design elements from the front with the orange and the white kind of continuing. The fact that they've been able to line these up pretty well, I'm quite happy with that. One of my bugbears is that whenever you've got a kit that has a design on the front and the back, that then it doesn't quite line up perfectly, it kind of lines up odd. I just think don't bother, just have something in the middle that kind of breaks that up. I am quite a neat freak though, so that's probably got something to do with that. We've got Joinery Depot, their branding has been dye sublimated in. It's the same colour as the main body of the shirt, but drops into the orange. It's very blocky, but again, it's fine. We've got Aspire Academy, and then we've got the Hull College group at the bottom there. Both of those feature in what you would class as their natural colourways. There's a reinforced line of stitching that goes around here. You can see where the GPS tracker pouch, that has been embroidered into the back of the shirt there as well. Quite thick, these ones, quite prominent as it was on the shirts that was manufactured by Feta. These pouches were quite sort of big and quite obstructive on the back of a shirt. On the sort of Oxen ones, you don't really notice it so much. It's strange really, but yeah, on this one here, you can quite see that sort of dinting out, shall we say. So yeah, Albert Kelly, he joined Hull KR ahead of the 2015 season, and he stayed at the club for 2 years. He played 44 games in that time. He scored 23 tries. He kicked 1 drop goal, converted 3 goals, and that all tallied up to about 99 points, if I did my mathematics correctly. This shirt here was an unworn spare from the game against the Leeds Rhinos, which took place on the 21st of July in 2016. 2016 was a very difficult year for Hull KR. It's probably formed us into the club that we are today. Obviously relegation at the end of it. We had a difficult time. We never really finished bottom of any division, yet somehow still got relegated in a golden point game after being in a game which we were very much in control in for the best part of it. So it was a very difficult year. There was some sort of off-field issues with Albert Kelly, which then kind of led to him not returning from a authorised period of leave. And I don't really want to get too much into it, but obviously in 2017 he did then go on and join Hull FC, and he did lift the Challenge Cup with them, just to add some little bit of salt into the wounds of the Robins. It's one of those things, things didn't work out too greatly for Albert with Hull KR, but obviously he went on to make a sort of a better name for himself at Hull FC. Stuck around there for quite a while, and he did become a very good servant to those guys, and it's something that for the time being that they'll always have over us. But that's how these things work in sport. The cycles, one comes good, one goes bad, one comes good, and it's we see it across all the time. We just need to try and sort of focus on ourselves and hopefully win something in the very near future. Would be would be ideal, wouldn't it, fellow Robins? I'm sure we all feel the same. about wanting to see our great club lift some silverware in that very near future. But yeah, this shirt here, I'm fairly certain that it is just an issued shirt. I'll pop some pictures up for you. So this is a picture of Albert Kelly, I think probably after the game, and you can just see where the letter placement is with the name Kelly and the number 7. That it just doesn't quite line up with the one that I've got in front of me here. Obviously there is a little bit of a watermark obstructing it, but there's enough there for me to be able to say, no, I'm fairly confident that this shirt isn't the shirt that was actually worn by Albert Kelly during this game. So yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I'll accept this as a player spare, but it's still, it's a beautiful shirt. It's one that I'm sort of really glad to have in my collection. One day I would really like a match worn version, because obviously I've got a spare of a squad player who didn't play, and then a spare of a player who did play. I would really like to add a match worn into my collection at some point. So that's something that'll be on my agenda. I don't really go searching these days. Things just tend to kind of crop up, and I'll jump on them as and when I see them. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. That's everything for episode number 124 of Talking Shirts. Hope you've enjoyed watching this episode. If you really have made it all the way to the end, thank you very much. Maybe just drop me a little message or a little comment saying I made it to the end, yeah, I'll be incredibly proud of you for sticking with this one, especially with it being Albert Kelly. I didn't really know how it would go down, but yeah, I really want to focus more on the shirt than the player across most of sort of the Hulk AR shirts collection. So yeah, we'll continue doing that as we move forward. Thank you very much for watching. Check back in another couple of weeks where I'll be back with episode number 125. Thank you very much. Bye for now.